Cedar Point, the rock and roller coaster of America. They have 15 world-class roller coasters, but which one's the best? Today, I'm going to be ranking all 15 roller coasters at Cedar Point and why they deserve that spot. Enjoy the video. Wilderness Run. It's not very thrilling, doesn't have much speed, not big drops or anything, but as a kid, this ride would be very fun to you. But after you ride all the rides, such as Steel Vengeance, Millennium Force, Raptor, some of those bigger rides at this park, it doesn't really pack a punch anymore. It's not really thrilling. So, therefore, I put Wilderness Run at 15. Cedar Creek Mine Ride. This deserves 14 because overall the transitions are weak. There are lots of little drops for its height. It can also feel rough at times. The space could be used for something way better than what it is used for right now. Because they have the new Wild Mouse coming, I feel like it would be somewhat equal to the Cedar Creek Mine Ride. That is why this roller coaster deserves 14. Woodstock Express. This is my favorite kid ride at the park. It's not rough really at all. It could be here for the nostalgia because it is most kids' first roller coaster if they come here. And it's pretty decent sized with some decent sized drops for the height of it. This is why this roller coaster deserves 13. If you're looking for a headache, this is the ride for you. Because majority of the time you'll walk off this ride with a pretty bad headache. I mean, yes, it was the first roller coaster to have 3 inversions, but still, I don't really know if I want to ride this because the headaches are real. This could be a good ride to help you conquer your fear of going upside down on a roller coaster, or this could just ruin that fear for you. So, therefore, this roller coaster deserves 12 at the park. Blue Streak. This one's a little bit harder to rank only because I feel like depending on the day, this ride's either really rough or just a little rough to the point that you can handle it. The drops aren't too huge and the speed isn't too crazy, making the thrill level not quite as high as some of these other rides at this park. But overall, I love this ride. It's fun to go back to sometimes because it was one of my first rides at this park. So therefore, I think it deserves 11 at this park. Gemini. This is a little bit hard to rank as well, only because majority of the time, Cedar Point doesn't have this ride racing. I don't know why, but if it was racing majority of the time, this might be ranked higher. This ride can be rough at times, also depending on where you sit. The drops aren't huge. Speed's alright. It's not too fast, not too slow. Slow in some areas when you're going around those turns, though. That kind of is a little lazy, but only when it's only your one car. When it's the 2 cars, that might be the best part of the ride, because you get to talk with the other train while they're going by you. But overall, Gemini, I think, deserves 10. No questions asked. This is the best family coaster at Cedar Point. Iron Dragon, after being 40 plus years maybe, it's one of 4 aero-suspended roller coasters left. This is probably the best family coaster here. The swaying of your car puts so much thrill on this ride. Sometimes the swaying feels like you might go upside down. The drops aren't actually that bad. There are some minor drops in there, but you pick up some pretty great speed on this ride. Also, just when you think this ride is done, there's a whole other chain lift and a whole other section to go on this ride, making this the best family coaster at the park, and that's why it deserves number 9 at the park. Rougarou. Honestly, this ride depends on the person, because if you're short, your head's probably going to get banged around on the restraints. But if you're a little bit taller, you're probably going to be fine on this ride. Maybe a little rough, but drops are pretty good. Speed is pretty good as well. It also has a pretty good amount of inversions, so if you like going upside down on roller coasters, this is a good ride, but it's also, again, rough. Overall, this ride is pretty thrilling, making this the 8th best roller coaster at the park. Some people hate it, some people love it. Again, depends on the person, but this is Magnum. In my opinion, I like this ride. I don't find it very rough, but again, it depends on where you're sitting. If you're sitting towards the front, in my opinion, I feel it's kind of rough, because with all these airtime hills, your thighs will slam into those lap bars, making your thighs in pretty much immense pain after this ride. Overall, the thrill is pretty crazy. First roller coaster to be 200 plus feet in the world. The drop is pretty big. The speed is pretty good. Going through the tunnels might be one of the best parts of this ride, along with the drop. But overall, this roller coaster definitely deserves number 7. GateKeeper. This drop is crazy. It flips you upside down as soon as you get off the chain lift. And then, again, you go upside down once again, leaving the loop. Then going into more inversions. Then through some head and leg chopping moments through the entrance. The speed and drop are crazy good on this ride. Thrill levels are perfect, I think. This ride for sure deserves 6 at this park. Valravn. This is for sure not the best B&M dive coaster in the world, but it sure is pretty good. With a 200 plus foot drop and a 90-degree drop angle, I think that's pretty good. Being held over the edge for 3 seconds as well. This ride picks up pretty great speed with about 3 inversions on this ride. And this drop is everything of this ride. It is a dive coaster after all, but still, the drop being hung over that 90-degree edge is terrifying. Your thrill levels will skyrocket when you get hung over that edge. This ride for sure deserves 5 at this park. Raptor. This is the best B&M at this park. It starts you off with a quick pre-drop, not gaining much speed, and then it just drops you, and you gain so much speed. The drop is good. The speed is as well good, as I said. The inversions are awesome. There's so many inversions to go through. This will really get your thrill levels going skyrocket. It was the first B&M suspended coaster to have a Cobra roll as well. The ride's looking pretty good for its age of 30-ish years. Overall, this is for sure 4 at this park. Millennium Force. If you say the word thrill, this is probably the first thing that's going to come to my head. The G-forces on this ride are so crazy. Right after the drop going into the overbank turn, I always black out. It's so forceful that sometimes I'm just grayed out almost this entire ride. The speed is so crazy with a top speed of 93 miles an hour, and its drop is 310 feet. That was the tallest roller coaster at one point. The first Giga also. This ride keeps great speed throughout the entire ride. Pacing is awesome. So therefore, this ride is definitely number 3 at this park. Maverick. This ride is thrill. As soon as you leave the station, you just get launched right up the 100-foot hill and dropped beyond vertical. This ride features 2 inversions and keeps great speed throughout the entire ride. Sure, the drop isn't that tall, but it's great. This ride is really good for its height because at the time, no one thought this ride would be that good after they saw it was only going to be 100 feet tall. But sure were they wrong. This ride is so good at the park. It 100% deserves number 2. Oh, wow. Steel Vengeance is 100% number 1 at this park. RMC converted this from Mean Streak to Steel Vengeance. Mean Streak being one of the worst rides at this park to turning it into the best ride at this park. This ride is complete thrill all the way through it. It has a long duration of 2+ minutes. It features 25 seconds of airtime. You're practically out of your seat this entire ride. It goes upside down 4 times. The drop is perfect with a 90-degree drop and 205 feet tall. The pacing on this ride is perfect. There is not a better paced ride at this park. Steel Vengeance 100% deserves number 1 at this park. Thanks for watching. If you disagree with anything on this list, please let me know. I'm open for your opinions as well. Keep in mind, everything on this list is completely my opinion, and it may be different than yours. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.